Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome to another episode of StatHow. And today I have a huge chart, as you can see, very big, of oil discoveries in the world. So these are the largest oil discoveries in the world, over 500 million barrels. Okay, so all of these discoveries are major with more than 500 million barrels of oil. Here you'll see two types of dots, these white dots, which are oil discoveries before 1988, and the red dots, which are oil discoveries after 1988, which you might say are the modern discoveries of oil. Take a quick look down here, look at the raw numbers first. As you can see, before 1988, everything before 1988, there were almost 1,000 discoveries of oil reserves of more than 500 million. And since 1988, there have been 236 discoveries of oil, which is pretty impressive as oil discoveries being discovered, which is pretty impressive because the reserves being discovered now are obviously much harder to discover. Last numbers to check out are the largest oil reserves in the world. Every little dot on this map is big, but these are the 20 largest oil reserves in the world. And not surprisingly, most of them are in the Middle East. Number one in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran, again in Kuwait. Number five, Venezuela. If you don't know, Venezuela has huge oil reserves in the world. By some estimates, they are the largest oil reserves in the world. A couple other surprising states are Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan has the 8th and the 10th largest oil reserves in the world. The only other non-Middle Eastern are in Mexico. Mexico actually has the 13th biggest. We'll see that on the map. Russia with the 15th and the 20th largest, and one in China. Now let's actually look at where many of these discoveries are in the world. So first, in North America, you can see that most of North America's discoveries are old, pre-1988. Most of them probably in the 1800s, in California, in Texas, on the Gulf of Mexico. There's a huge amount, almost all of North America's modern discoveries are in the Gulf of Mexico, which obviously modern technology has made it much easier to discover oil that is trapped hundreds of meters below the sea. There is a nice supply in Mexico. And of course, in Venezuela, you see both old and some modern discoveries of oil. A huge amount of oil concentrated in Venezuela. And you can even see here in Brazil, there's a nice cluster of modern discoveries in Brazil that has given Brazil quite substantial oil reserves. And now let's go down to Afro-Eurasia, which is just a mess. There is discoveries all over the place. But a couple places to point out are here up in the North Sea. And again, similar to the Gulf of Mexico, you see a couple of clusters of modern discoveries where in the past it would be much harder to discover some of these underwater reserves. Here you see a couple in Africa, mostly off the west coast here and near the Mediterranean. Of course, there is a colossal amount in the Middle East. Even in the Middle East, most of them are concentrated in this little sliver here on the east coast of Saudi Arabia, west coast of Iran. Another interesting place is here in the Caspian Sea. Again, you see many of these red modern reserves being discovered with newer technology. Here you see a nice clustering of reserves in central Siberia. Here you see many modern discoveries in China and Southeast Asia. And here you see a nice cluster of modern discoveries off the northwest coast of Australia, again, making it easier to discover some of these undersea reserves in the modern era. That's it for giving you guys the rundown on where most of the world's major oil reserves are in the world. Of course, this is only oil. Maybe in the future, if you guys like this, I could find other reserves like coal, or there are many types of rare earth elements and where all of those are located, as many other resources are even much scarce than oil. As you can see, oil is in many parts of the world. So if you like this and would like to see even where other reserves are located in the world, maybe I could do some of those in the future. Please leave a like, leave a comment if you liked it. See you next time, guys.